Today we're going to make a cap-toed bar shoe for Madison. And the cap-toed, I've made several of them, and I think the right amount of steel will be an inch and a half from center. So I mark it dead center. It's a 13-inch piece. Mark it dead center, which is 6.5, and then we got 5 and 8. And I got a little tool that I made. It's not even a tool, it's just a piece of steel. I've got 1,000,000 10-inch pieces of concave. What I did is I made it to where it slides over the piece of stock. And I think the test in this shoe is not so much the cap. The cap is relatively easy to get. That's a piece of cake. It's when you forge the material, you want to forge it from the top side because the material gets thicker on the side that you hit. So if you forge it away from the cap, which is easy to get to on the flat of the anvil, that gets thicker, and then you end up having a weakness on the outside edge. We want to forge it almost all of it from the top side, which is the same side as on the cap, so that the material draws to the hammer and we get the wider part on the outside, which is user-friendly to the horse because you want the narrow edge to be on the inside of the web and the wider edge to be on the outside of the web. That way you have a nice concave surface on the inside that's usable for the horse's foot. Alright, you just take the piece of concave I bent and you stick it in there, and then that way it holds it up on edge to where you can strike it. So I can mark for my where my cap toed starts. So I just go in here and I leave a nice little mark, and that gets me where and then come over here and mark that the same. Alright, so I've got my marks where the cap toe goes. What I'll do is I'll start a heat and just take, I got a little set hammer, piece of cake set hammer. I just drop it down, and then that way this all gets wider. If I set it down this way, this edge gets wider, and that's the big difference. Is you want to forge from this edge, but this cap toe gets in the way. So I'll set it down, take it out, and run her down, and that way, because what happens is the downfall is you get hourglass in here if you don't forge evenly. It gets a big old swoop in there. So that's how we'll start it off. So you're just going to come in here and grab that edge. And now I've got that out of the way to where I can hit it. So and I'm swelling up the outside edge of the stock as I'm drawing it down. Now we'll take just a quick hit it from this side as well. And flatten it out. One more time like that. Just you can see that makes just a nice clean cut, and then you can just come in here and blend that all back in. Keep it relatively flat. And do the other side. Find your mark. Got it set down. And then blend all that in together. Come in here and just get a little bit of it from the back side. And flatten her up good. Just kind of. You want to do more hammering from that edge, just so it swells it up. Alright, what we got to do is before we bend this in a radius, I got to get this made into my cap toe. But before we can do that, I got to make my hockey sticks, because you can't hold on to the toe with a cap toe on there to make your hockey sticks. So it's just easy to make your hockey sticks right now. Do your hockey stick. Take it to kind of the soft corner and let it catch on that soft corner. This kind of tears it out without it bouncing all over the place like it is now. And we'll do the other side. What we're going to do is cut out what's going to signify our material for the cap toe. All right, come in here. I got a little piece of material that's for my cap toe, but I have a lot of material on the end. What I want to do is when I come out next time, I'm going to lean it and hit it right there, and then hit it right there. That's going to keep these pieces from bubbling out, and that will keep them from getting weak right there. We're just going to come like this, push that back in. That keeps those tidy. And then I'm going to come here and lean it down and start drawing it out. Alright, it's impossible to get a nice clean edge there. So to flip it away would just be a catastrophe. What we're going to do is we're going to flip it towards itself. And that'll make it a nice sharp corner no matter what. So get all this pretty cleaned up nice. And remember, these bubbled out, so I want to go in here. Just slightly hit it when it's warm, and that keeps those angling in. All right. So now what I'm going to do, just kind of clean this up. My last good easy shot at getting all this material here. So when I come out next, I'm going to get it hot. I'm going to sit it right there, and I'm going to draw with my hammer and pull that into the corner. It'll go quick, quick, quick. All right, so now we're going to just set it here. And then you'll see come over here, and I'm just going to get it all flat. I'm just going to and everything is nice and clean, and we're set, we're ready to go. All right, so I just like bending a piece of concave. You want to be real slow and gentle with it. I have a jig, as you can see, a Hardy. That's just a round piece of pipe on it, and that's to true it up. You don't have to have that, but it comes in handy, without a doubt. Just being slow and meticulous. Then if you just come in here and pick up a little bit, trues everything up. I'm kind of pulling on it, and I'm working that outside corner, making it nice and crisp. You can see I got a nice clean radius, and now we'll bend each branch. I can forge these as I go. I'd rather be thicker than come too big, because it measures 5 1/4 by 5 3/8. All right, since I have to hold on to it with the tong, I'm going to start way back here and start bending it. There, now you can catch it up. And blend from here, go to the widest part, go over the top. Flatten it up and make it nice and flat. Again, we're going to just start right in here. And do the other side. All right, start way at the back of the branch, because that's going to be hardest to get to after it's all turned. Flatten it up, and then start from the toe and go all the way through the branch, get to the widest part, go over the top, open that up. There we go. Over the top. Here we go. You can see how this is just a little bit shorter, so I'm going to go through the branch one more time. Come in here and just get that nice and crisp. Just kind of clean up my bar, put them together, and we're, for the most part, done with the hardest part of the shoe. Now just lining it up. Lining up the bar. Alright. The best stuff in the world. This Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain is nice. It's got a good concoction in there. I don't know, secret dust and stuff like that. Cover it up. Have a little bit of color. This is really, really good in gas fires. But what people tend to do in coke fires is they get it too hot. And so just get a little bit of color on there. Don't get it sweaty. If you sweat it, it will not stick. It'll just slip. So you just want to get it a nice heat to where it's a good color, and then it'll weld easy. Shut it down. Let it get a good soak. Bring it out and just Alright, we're welding. Cover that up a little bit. Alright, when you lock in the shoe, you lock in the edges of the cap, it automatically locks your toe in. So now you line up your bar, and that's where your toenails are going to be. Straight across from that, pick your widest part. Keep your hand steady though. And then that's what marking it out. And then bar is like not parallel to this. You can stretch the branches a little bit to bring your bar parallel. Alright, here's the shoe. We're all done, cleaned up. It's set up for an E3. Nail holes split the center of stock. When you come in from a right angle, the nail hole dissects the edge of the cap on both sides. And you measure 5 1/4 by 5 3/8. One of the specs he's got on it is that your cap's got to be 3/4 of an inch tall. So I think that you know, just folding that cap back against it, it cleans up pretty nice. It's a fairly fun shoe to make if you just don't overthink this cap part. Good luck.